What's up, poker people of YouTube? Welcome back to the Voden Vlogs. Yeah, it's been a while. We're doing poker vlogs again. Just feeling inspired to do some. A lot of people have been asking where I've been, and people see me all the time playing around the city between cash and tournaments, and people asking for the vlogs. So here we go. I wanted to do a vlog at TCH Houston because the games have been insane here. 1-3 action is you'll see in the vlog. So let's get straight into it. And 1-3 TCH Houston. Let's go.
So in the first hand of importance, we have 10-9 offsuit in the under the gun straddle. The +1 limps, low jack makes it 35. I defend my straddle, and the +1 calls. Three ways to flop, which comes 7, 6, 5, a rainbow. It ends up checking through. We have a gutter ball to the nuts, but there's no reason to bloat the pot when we only have 4 outs. Not sure if our overs are outs as well. Turn to 3 of spades, we check it. The +1 says pot, just to kind of give an idea of what we're playing with in Houston. This isn't PLO, so that's not a legal bet. He ends up being told that it's not a legal bet, and he throws out $100 instead, and both of us fold. I kept this hand in as an example of the type of players you're going to see in Houston, Texas, where, yeah, just not doing illegal stuff and clearly not vets to the game. So we're going to be looking to print in a lot of these spots against some of these players. Please bear with me with sound and graphics as I'm using new editing software from previous vlogs to increase the quality for you guys for these vlogs. In this one we have ace 5 offsuit in the big blind. The button makes it 15, we defend. Flop comes ace 8 6 rainbow. We check it, the button checks. Turn brings a 4 of spades, giving us a double gutter, so we bet 15 going for value and the button folds. As I was saying though, you will have to bear with me. I'm going to try and improve audio quality and get a new mic. Just trying to improve the quality of all the vlogs for you guys moving forward. Not spend a lot of time on them, just want to make them a bit better. In the next hand of importance, we have ace 3 of spades in the small blind. The under the gun straddle is on. There's two callers. The cutoff makes it 40. I elect to call. Probably a bad call out of position, but ace 3 suited, kind of a strong hand, and the rest of the players fold. Flop comes 4 4 4 rainbow. Trips on the board, we check it. The cutoff bet's $50. We're going to be ahead of some of his range here some of the time. So king, queen, queen, jack, king, jack, hands like that. So we're going to have to call one street. Turn brings a very favorable card. It's the ace of clubs. So we're not really behind anything now, but we could be chopping with another ace X, of course. We like to check, allow his pocket pairs and bluffs to continue. He does continue for 175. This is an easy call. We're never raising because we're only going to get called by better, which would be aces and chop hands like ace X. So we want to keep his bluffs and pocket pairs in. River brings a 9 of hearts. Now we want to lead out because we don't want pocket pairs checking back. So we go for a sizing of 225, a bit under half pot. The cutoff tanks and folds before saying he had pocket 10, so I think we played that one as well as possible. Wish we could have gotten call on the river. In the immediate next hand, we look down at pocket sevens on the button. It's a six-handed table right now for this one. The hijack opens to $11. The cutoff calls. We obviously call, and the blinds fold. Three players to flop now, which comes ace, jack, seven, rainbow. We bank bottom set. Hijack continues for $21. The cutoff calls, and we want to start building a pot here, raising, getting all the ace X's to call, and want to go heads up if possible. The hijack calls and the cutoff folds. Turn brings the 10 of spades. A bit of a scary card, but king queen's the only thing that gets there, and everything else that would be beating us or behind us remains the same. The hijack checks it at this point, and we go for a sizing of $180. We want to charge all the big ace X's and ace jack, ace tens. The hijack tanks for a pretty long time before making the call. River's a really bad card. It's the king of clubs, obviously bringing a four-liner, but there shouldn't be too many queen X's that make a straight, except maybe ace queen. Of course, we're losing to sets of aces, jacks, and kings at this point. The hijack bets 225. Obviously, it's just too good of a price to fold, and there's a lot of hands we're still ahead of. So we obviously snap it off. If he has a queen, then so be it. But he's going to have a lot of two pairs a lot of the time, and he somehow, in fact, has two pair, but it's king 10 for runner runner. So just an example of the player pool you're going to get here in Houston and how they play. And the next clip's kind of an example of the crazy action. It was raise pre 35. The guy calls. Ace King 3 bets to 170. Razor calls. Guy jams 230. Both call. And the jammer gets two pair runner runner with 6-3. And Ace King got a huge side pot. So more of an example of the crazy action here in Houston. In this next one that we have though, Ace Queen offsuit and the +1, the button straddle is on. Small blind folds, big blind calls, under the gun calls. We make it 40, only the cutoff and big blind call. Flop comes Jack, 8, 6, or rainbow. The big blind checks, we go $50. Both cutoff and big blind call. Turns a 5 of hearts. When we get called in two spots, we're just going to give up, so we check it through. The river's a 10 of spades. Big blind makes it 125 leading out. We obviously fold, and the cutoff calls, and the big blind shows 6-7 of diamonds, and the cutoff had 9-8 offsuit. So super sick call from the cutoff to be right there. Next big hand, we have pocket eights in the big blind. The button straddle is on. Small blind calls. We make it $30. The +1 calls, and the cutoff then makes it 160. The button small blind fold, we tank for a while, looking at the stacks, and we think we can get a lot more here if we hit our set, so we like to make the call, and the +1 calls behind us as well. Flop is ace, 8, 7, all hearts, so we do bink middle set, but on a monotone board. We decide to check, the +1 checks, the cutoff continues here for 180. We don't want to see a lot of bad turn cards. We're obviously going to check raise a lot of our flushes and sets here. We're going to get called by ace king a lot of the time and one king hearts. So we're going to go ahead and do just that and raise for 500 effective basically. It puts a +1 all in for $280, which he does oblige to, and a cutoff tank folds for a very long time with the ace king offsuit, no heart in his hand of course, so we elect to go twice with the +1 and we get both against king 9 and he had the king of hearts, so ideal situation and pure run out for us. And of course, there's going to be times when we get snap called by flop flush, but we're okay with that and racing. We still have two cards to come to try to fill up. In our next hand, we look down at ace 9 of clubs and the hijack. The button straddle is on. Small blind makes it 21. We call. The button makes it 45, basically a min click. So the small blind calls and I call myself. Flop is ace 5, 3, 3 spades. So once again, another monotone board. Small blind checks. We check. The button makes it $60 continuing. Small blind folds. And we're going to have to peel the street here with top pair. Turns a really bad card. It's the 8 of spades, bringing in the 4-liner flush. We check it, and we're basically done with this hand, hoping to get to showdown. The button, however, bets $100, so we have to make a fold here. And the button does show us the king of spades.
What's up? So in the game for 3K, out of the game for 4,395. It's a profit of 13.95, and yeah, don't have to be crazy good in Houston, but the money flows, and you just have to wait for your spots, and people will pay you off in a lot of spots. There were a few PLO hands. The PLO retention for YouTube isn't the best, so I try to avoid from writing down the hand histories for PLO. So I will lose some or win some here and there, which is why profits or losses might be off moving forward. But yeah, the one hand of PLO creates so much action in these TCH games. A lot of people are not PLO players, to say the least. So you can print a lot in these games. But other than that, we made some pretty good hands, and Hold'em ran really well, ran really pure, and we're able to come out with a profit here at TCH Houston. I'll be around playing a lot more, and hopefully I'll be vlogging a lot more and creating content. I know the vlogging market is super saturated for YouTube, but I just want to create some content, especially for you guys, and especially for the people who have been following me for a long time and asking where I've been and why I've been putting out content. So here we go, back on the journey. Let's get into it, and I hope to see you Euros on the next one. Peace.